Hello hocam. We we didn't hear you, unfortunately. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
That's okay now.
Okay. Merhabalar arkadaşlarım. 8. Uluslararası Öğrenciler Fen Bilimleri Kongresi'nin 20 numaralı oturumunun başkanı olarak size hoş geldin diyorum. Hello everyone, I'm by name Dr. Kayijori Ibrahim and I'm the chair of the session 20 of the 8th International Student Science Congress. I welcome you all to this session. This session is for this session we have 8 participants, and we please you after your presentation to wait until the end of the session for a photograph of all the participants of this session. Oturumun tüm katılımcısının genel bir fotoğraf için sunumunuzdan sonra bekleyin lütfen. Bir fotoğraf çekiyoruz. Bundan sonra hemen birinci sunumuyla başlayacağız. We shall start the first presentation with Rania Sharif with a presentation entitled Solid State Synthesis and Characterization of Trirutile FES B2O6. Rania Sharif, if you are ready, the floor is yours. Rania Sharif? As I can see, Rania Sharif is not here. Aisha, are you ready for starting? We shall come back to Rania Sharif when she will be ready.
Aysu Yiğit mi hocam?
Aysu Yiğit.
Benim sunumum 2.30'da başlıyor.
Tamam.
Ya ben şimdi sunabilir miyim yoksa 2.30'da mı sunayım?
Siz başlayabiliriz. Sunumunuz ile başlayabiliriz.
Yani
Çünkü
şimdi sunabilirim.
Rania hazır değilmiş.
Tamam, o zaman ben şimdi sunmaya başlayayım.
Tamam, olur.
Bir tane slide sunum paylaşımı yapacaktım ama şu an yapamıyorum. Paylaşım izni alabilir miyim?
Olur.
Paylaşım izni verdik.
Evet. Öncelikle merhabalar. Ben Aysu Yiğit. İstanbul Üniversitesi Cerrahpaşa Kimya Bölümü 2. sınıf öğrencisiyim. Bugün sizinle üniversitemizin yenilenebilir enerji laboratuvarında çalıştığımız radyoaktif soğutma boyasının geliştirilmesi ve optimizasyonu üstünde konuşacağız. Sunum yapacağım. Şöyle geçelim. İlk önce biliyorsunuz enerjinin bizim için yeri çok önemli. Özellikle biz insanlar için çok hayati bir öneme sahip. Benim burada sizinle konuşuyor olmam, bu ekranınızda benim bu sunumumu görmeniz, telefonlarımızın çalışması, bir sürü şey enerji sayesinde. Bu soğutma sistemleri de günümüzde çok kullanılıyor. Çünkü biliyorsunuz her şey ısınıyor. En kolayı benim bu kullandığım bilgisayar belli bir süreden sonra ısınmaya başlıyor. En kolay çok kolay bir örnek vermek için bunu söylüyorum. Bunu bir soğutmamız gerekiyor. Bu yüzden genel olarak çalışan çoğu şey bir ısınma yaratır. Biz bu ısınmayı da soğutma sistemleriyle soğutmaya çalışırız. Bu enerjiyi kullanan soğutma sistemlerine aktif soğutma sistemleri diyoruz. Bu sistemler çalışmak için bir enerji istiyorlar. Bunlara örnek olarak klimalar, buzdolapları, derin dondurucular, günümüze gelelim fotovoltaik piller, termoelektrik jeneratörler verilebilir. Bunların getirdiği birçok dezavantaj var. Bu dezavantajlar nelerdir? Bir kere bunlar fosil yakıtlardan oluştuğu için, enerjilerini fosil yakıtlardan aldığımız için karbondioksit salınımı yapıyorlar. Bu da günümüz problemlerinden, en büyük problemlerinden biri karbondioksit salınımından dolayı küresel ısınma, sera etkisi gibi sorunlar çıkıyor. Daha ayrı bir yönüne bakarsak bunlar çok kompleks yapılar. Bizim kullandığımız klimalar falan hemen hemen her yıl bunun bakımını yaptırıyorsunuzdur. Eğer varsa yapılıyordur. Klimadır, bu derin donduruculardır, buzdolaplarıdır, bakımlarının yapılması gerekiyor. Bunların kurulumu ve kompleks olduğu için bakımları ya da kurulumları, alımları çok büyük bir maliyet. Yani yüksek maliyet söz konusu. Günümüzde bu kadar dezavantaja karşın buna daha alternatif bir şey üretmek istiyorlar. Yani daha alternatif bir şey üstünde çalışılmış. Bu da pasif soğutma sistemleri. Bunda da bir enerji girdisine ihtiyaç duyulmuyor. Yani bunu çalıştırmak için bir enerji harcanmıyor. Bunun tabii ki çok yeni bir çalışma olduğu için dezavantajları da var. Ya dezavantajı var dedim, çok düşük bir verimlilikte. Yani aktif soğutmaya göre verimliliği şu an çok düşük. Bu pasif soğutmaya da örnek olarak bizim şu an üstünde çalıştığımız radyatif soğutma boyasını örnek verebiliriz. Radyatif soğutma boya şeklinde, biz şu an boya şeklinde yapıyoruz. Boya, film ve katmanlı olarak yapılabiliyor. Tek katmanlı, çift katmanlı, 3 katmanlı şekilleri var. Biz şu an çift katmanlı üstünde çalışıyoruz. Bunun genel bir mantığı, biz bu boyada yüksek emisyon ve yüksek yansıtma özelliği arıyoruz. Peki ne olacak? Üst boya zaten beyaz boya. Beyaz boya renginden dolayı biliyorsunuz zaten beyaz renkleri daha çok yazın giyeriz ki bizi güneşten korusun. Aslında koruma şöyle oluyor. Gelen güneş ışınlarını geri yansıtsın. Bu bize bir soğutma değil de bir soğukluk hissi veriyor. Bu beyaz boyada aslında bu görevi yapıyor. Gelen ışınları, yüksek enerjili ışınları geri yansıtıyor. Altta da siyah boyamız var. Bu siyah boyada ne yapıyor? Zaten siyah üstüne çekiyor. Çekici bir özellik yapıyor. Bu da ışınları üstüne çekiyor. Ama hangi ışınları çekiyor? İnfrared dediğimiz kızılötesi ışınları çekiyor. Biz bu kızılötesi ışınları çekmesini ve bunun haricindeki ışınları geri yansıtmasını istiyoruz. Bu geri yansıtma kısmını üstteki beyaz boya, üstüne çekmeyi de alttaki siyah boya yapıyor. Bu sadece kızılötesi ışınları çekiyor. Bunun da bir mantığı var tabii ki. Neden kızılötesi ışınları istediğimizi anlatacağım. 8-13 mikrometre arasında sky window dediğimiz şeffaf bir pencere. Yani şöyle düşünün, bir kapı açılıyor. Uzayla yeryüzü arasında, bizim boyamız arasında bir kapı açılıyor. Bu kapıda biliyorsunuz uzay 3 Kelvin gibi çok büyük bir soğukluğa sahip. Yeryüzü de çok sıcak. Uzaya göre çok sıcak. Bunlar arasında bir ısı alışverişi olacak değil mi? Sıcaktan soğuğa doğru bir ısı alışverişi olacak. Bizim boyamız sıcak olan taraf. Zaten bu termal ışınları tutuyordu. Uzaya 8 ve 13'te özel bir aralıkta termal ışıma yöntemiyle kendi tuttuğu ışımayı verecek. Ve bu ışımayı verdikten sonra da uzayla bir alışveriş yaptığı için sıcaktan soğuğa da bir ekstra, hani nasıl desem, sıcaklık sıcaktan soğuğa oluyor ya, kendini uzayla eşitlemeye çalışacak. Yani bu ışımayı verecek ve onun haricinde kendini uzayla soğumasına eşitlemek için ekstra bir sıcaklık da verecek. Yani tuttuğu ışımayı da verecek. Kendini uzay gibi soğutmak istediği için ekstra bir sıcaklık da verecek. Bu da bize soğukluk verecek. Yani buradan soğutmayı alacağız. Burada da uygulama alanlarından bahsettim. Biz bunu nerelere entegre edebiliriz? Aslında daha çok evin çatıları gibi düşündük. Arabalar da olabilir. Termoelektrik jeneratörler de olabilir. O da çok yeni bir çalışma. Şöyle ben çok kolay bir evin üstünde göstermek istiyorum. Biliyorsunuz evler, zaten evlerin çatıları çok sıcak oluyor ve yüksek evler, yani şu anki evler çoğunlukla çok yüksek olduğu için uzaya yakın oluyor. Burada yüksek olması bize uzaya yakın, yukarıya yakın olması bizim için bir avantaj. İşte evlerin çatısına uygulanabilir. Güneş ışınları hem güzel geliyor hem de yukarı uzaya yakın oluyor. Onun haricinde buradaki resimler zaten benim bu daha önceki slaytta anlattığım gibi birçok kırılmadır, gelmedir, yansıtmadır onları çağrıştırıyor. Burayı da geçelim. Bu da bizim yaptığımız çalışmalar. Biz beyaz boya ve siyah boya yaptık. Kıvamı da boya gibi oldu. Burada da çalışma prensibini anlatacağım. Şimdi burada beyaz boyaya, beyaz rengini zaten titanyum dioksit veriyor. Titanyum dioksitin de kırılma indisi çok yüksek. Şu resimde görüyorsunuz E'de. Burada aslında kırılma indisi A'da ve E'de kırılma indisinin önemini vurguluyor. Kırılma indisi bizim için çok yüksek çünkü üst tabakanın görevi neydi? Yüksek yansıtma özelliğiydi. Yani bu gelen ışınları, bizim istemediğimiz ışınları yansıtmaktı. Titanyum dioksit burada yansıtma görevini üstleniyor. Gelen ışınları yüksek kırılma indisiyle yansıtıyor. Ama tabii ki sadece titanyum dioksit yeterli değil. Kalsiyum karbonat ve baryum sülfat da kullanıyoruz. Bu iki madde dolgu maddesi olarak geçiyor. Peki bunları biz neden kullanıyoruz? Biz demiştik ki biz ışınları yansıtsın ama her ışını yansıtmasın. Bizim ihtiyacımız olan ışınlar da var demiştik. Bizim ihtiyacımız olmayan ışınları yansıtmasını istiyoruz. Yani yüksek enerjide ışınları yansıtmasını istiyoruz. Kalsiyum karbonat ve baryum sülfat da bu görevi görüyor. Büyük bant genişliği sebebiyle bizim istemediğimiz ışınları yansıtmaya yardım ediyor diyelim. Bunların oranlarına bakacak olursak beyaz renk istediğimiz için, beyaz renk bizim için önemli olduğu için titanyum dioksit baryum ve kalsiyuma göre daha yüksek bir oranda. Diğerleri %60'lık ya da %70'lik dolgun kıvamında olması yeterli olur. Bunu üst boyayı hazırladık. Alt boyada da grafit kullandık. Aslında çoğu makalede karbon black diye geçer. Bu da siyah boyadır. Ama maliyeti yüksek ve yurt dışından geldiği için nasıl diyeyim? Daha maliyeti yüksek ve bulunması biraz daha zor olduğu için ve optimizasyon istediği için bu boyayı biz kendimiz yapmak istedik. Grafit kullandık. Zaten grafit de karbonlardan oluşuyor. Sodyum silikat kullandık. Sodyum silikat kullanmamızın nedeni malzemelerimizde güzel bir sinerjik etki verdi. Hem içindeki jel silika, zaten biliyorsunuz suyla temas edince jel oluyor. Güzel bir boya kıvamı verdi. Üst boyamız ve alt boyamızı hazırladık. Burada karıştırmak çok önemli. Homojen olmasını istiyoruz. Bu yüzden 5 dakika 10 dakika, 15 dakika arttırabiliriz. Ne kadar çok iyi karıştırırsak, bu artarsa bu kadar iyi olur bizim için. Daha sonra önce alt katmanı sürüyoruz. Biraz kuruduktan sonra zaten grafit burada çok hızlı bir şekilde kuruyor. Ondan sonra da üst katmanı sürüyoruz. Ve böylece boyamız hazır oluyor. Burada da sonuçlara geleyim. Bizim yaptığımız burada de ön çalışmaları görüyorsunuz. A ve B öndeki çalışmamız, C ve D şu anki daha yakın çalışmalarımız oluyor. C ve D'de zaten burada ölçtüğümüz sonuçlara göre 5 derecelik yaklaşık 5 derecelik bir sıcaklık farkı görüyoruz. Bu da sabit bir değer oluyor. Teşekkür ederim beni dinlediğiniz için.
Biz de teşekkür ediyoruz. Aysu Yiğit. Sorularınız varsa lütfen Aysu'ya mail atınız. Size cevabı verilecek. Thank you very much, Aysu, for your nice presentation. We shall proceed to the next presenter that will present about the development of graphite-based thermoelectric paint. And the presenter is Mohamed Yilmaz. Is Mohamed with us?
Hello,
Hi, Mohamed.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
What did you say,
Yes.
please?
Yeah, I just didn't hear you. If you say anything, I didn't hear you.
Okay, I said that you are the next presenter with a presentation entitled Development of Graphite-Based Thermoelectric Paint.
Yes. Okay.
The floor is yours. You can start.
Thanks. I will start. Okay, hello. My name is Mohamed Yilmaz. Today I will deliver a presentation about development of graphite-based thermoelectric paint. Just give me a second. Okay. Before we start, I think we should have some information about energy and energy sources. Normally, of course, all of us knows how we get our energy. Generally, we use fossil fuels to have our energy. Of course, it's very efficiency to have energy. But even so, of course, there are some disadvantages too. For example, because of you use fossil fuels, you will cause atmospheric pollution and global warming. And when you use, human beings use 80% of the energy energy of fossil fuels to have their energy, and because of this process, you will release nearly 60% waste heat to atmosphere or anywhere. And these times, this situation, the researchers study about thermoelectric generators. Now I will talk about thermoelectric generator firstly. Thermoelectric generator, when you create heat differences, that times you can generate electricity. It's called Seebeck effect. And there are something different when you give electricity these generators, that times you can create heat differences too. It's called a Peltier effect. Of course, it's a good technology to use waste heat to generate electricity directly. It's a very good technology for this area. But of course, there are some disadvantages too. For example, you cannot use these thermoelectric generators on curved area, and it's costly. It's not expensive, and I'm sorry, it's not cheap, and it has very long process to produce these generators. Because of this, now researchers study on thermoelectric paint. Okay, now when you look at literature, you will face a lot of different kind of thermoelectric paint. Recent years, it's very popular. But when you look at literature too, you will face the organic binder to produce thermoelectric paint. But when you use this organic binder, it's generally toxic, very toxic, and very expensive, and it has very long process. And actually, when we look at the literature, we saw this very disadvantage, and we tried to fix this bad disadvantage. We studied about inorganic inorganic binder with thermoelectric paint. In this study, we used graphite, thermoelectric materials, and sodium silicate. Our know-how actually sodium silicate. Thanks to sodium silicate, we can we could create a very good synergic effect for thermoelectric paint. Actually, we did a lot of different kind of thermoelectric modules, and we saw very good results. And you can see on this picture, there are some information about it also. Okay, what we fixed actually, now we should talk about this. Actually, our thermoelectric paint is non-toxic. If you remember, I told thermoelectric paint used organic binder, and it's generally toxic. But we use inorganic binder, and our binder is non-toxic. It's very important advantage for ourselves, and easy fabricate. It's really important thing, because when you look the other thermoelectric paint, you will face very long process and different and hard process. But our process is very short and is very easy. Actually, you can do almost 15 minutes. And also, our material is very low cost. And actually, when we compress the other thermoelectric paint, we will see our thermoelectric paint is very cheap from the other. Yes. Continue now. You can see our graphic about Seebeck coefficient with temperature gradation. When you see this, what we have for this N-type, we had 1.47 microwatt per centime Kelvin square. And our electrical conductivity is higher than the other thermoelectric paint, and our Seebeck coefficient also. When you look our power factor, you will face these two, and it's this is P-type thermoelectric paint. It's also the same. Now you will see this, the first picture, how we need to learn something, some information about thermoelectric efficiency. We use these kind materials to understand. And when you look at the side picture, you will face we use the part of human to waste of human, waste of heat from a human. We create electricity thanks to these materials. And when you look at the picture low, you can see our open circuit voltage. You can also open voltage, and that's all. Yes, our presentation. So if you have any question, please ask me.
Thank you, Mohamed Yilmaz, for this nice presentation. And if you have any question, please, Mohamed Yilmaz is available for you to provide some answers to questions about his work that he has just presented. Any question for Mohamed Yilmaz? Olur. Aysu, sorunuz var mı? Ona. Sorunuz varsa sorabilirsiniz.
Tabii. Ben şey sormak istiyorum.
Tamam.
Bunun bizim için önemini vurguladın ama daha çok gelecekte nerelerde olabilir ya da şimdi fazla ismini belki duymamışsınızdır. Ben de duymadım termoelektrik jeneratörler. Şu an nerede kullanılıyor? Aktif olarak kullanılıyor mu?
Muhammed,
Soruyu Türkçe mi yanıtlayayım, İngilizce mi? Soruyu Türkçe yanıtlıyorum o zaman. Bu teknoloji son zamanlarda popüler olan bir teknoloji. Bunu herhangi bir alanda kullanabilirsin. Az önce de bahsettiğim gibi kavisli yüzeyler, ihtiyaç duyan kavisli yüzeyler ya da ileride evlerinizin duvarlarını, çatılarını bu boyayla boyayıp evlerinizden bu atık ısıyı ya da dışarıdan gelen atık ısıyla kendi elektriğinizi üretebilirsiniz. Yani ısının olduğu her yerde bunu kullanabilirsiniz açıkçası. Aklınıza ne gelirse. Diğer termoelektrik modüllerde ya da ne bileyim güneş panellerine ekstra ısısını, çünkü güneş panelleri fotonlardan tamam elektron aldıktan sonra çok ısınıyorlar ve de onlar dezavantajı bunun için. Yani verimlerini kaybediyor. Orada da bunu ekstra olarak kullanıp hibrit bir teknolojiyle ikisini de kullanabilirsiniz. Ama onun ısısını elektriğe çevirirsiniz. Hani burada hani sınır yok. Yani otoyollara bile bu boyayı sürersiniz. Oradan elektrik elde edersiniz. Evinizi boyarsınız, elektrik elde edersiniz. Arabanızı boyarsınız, elektrik elde edersiniz. Yani her yerde yani akışkan formu, boya formu sayesinde her yüzey kolaylıkla uygulanabiliyor. Bu da büyük bir avantaj sağlıyor bizlere.
tamam, çok teşekkür ederiz. Bir daha soru varsa
Teşekkür ederim.
sorabilirsiniz. Bir daha sorunuz varsa sorabilirsiniz. Yani zamanımız var. Tamam. Soru yoksa size çok teşekkür ediyoruz Muhammed Yılmaz. Ve we shall proceed to the next presenter. Lütfen sunumunuzdan sonra lütfen bekleyiniz oturum sonuna kadar. Çünkü fotoğraf çekiyoruz. Genel bir fotoğraf çekiyoruz. The next presenter is Rania Sharif with the presentation entitled Investigation of Structural, Electronic and Optical Properties of COSB206.
Doktor İbrahim,
Rania Sharif?
Doktor İbrahim,
Evet
Ee,
hocam.
she has some problems. Bazı problemler oldu, katılamadı. Bir sonrakiyle
Tamam.
devam edebiliriz.
Tamam. O zaman Özge var mı? Özge sizinki ile başlayabiliriz. Devam edebiliriz. Geri kazanımı atıktan yüksek katma değerli ürünleri. O başlıkla başlayabilirsiniz. Özge Koşu, duyuyor musunuz? Özge? Özge? Özge Hanım? Özge hazır mısınız?
Sesim geliyor mu?
Ah, şimdi veriyor. Veriyor şimdi. Başlayabilirsiniz.
Tamam, hemen başlıyorum. Yansıyı dışarı yansıtmam gerekiyor mu yaptığım sunumu?
Şimdi paylaşabilirsiniz. Herhangi bir sıkıntı yok.
Sıkıntı yok. Başlayabilirsiniz. as well.
Tamam. Ben Özge Köse, Kırıkkale Üniversitesi'nde savunma teknolojilerinde yüksek lisans öğrencisiyim. Konum ise RDX'in geri kazanımı atıktan yüksek katma değerli ürünlere. Çalışmamızın hedefi üretim tarihinden itibaren...
Seni burada durdurmak zorundayım Özge. Şöyle sunumun yok mu? Senin belli bir sunumun varsa sunumunu paylaş lütfen. Çünkü
Evet,
Heh,
sunumum var hocam. Hemen paylaşayım.
çünkü sadece ismin görünüyor. Biz bir sunum görmek isteriz.
Tamam. Şu an görünüyor mu acaba?
Şimdi görünüyor. Tam ekran yaparsanız daha net görünmüş olacak.
Görünüyor, görünüyor.
Tamamdır.
Özge, kendi kameran varsa onu da açarsan daha iyi olur.
Hocam kameram var aslında ama nerede? Açamıyorum. Hocam açıldı mı kamera?
Maalesef açılmadı. Hala daha. Şimdi açıldı.
Ben görünüyor muyum hocam?
Ekranda görünüyorsun. Evet. Sadece ters ışık olduğu için çok net görünmüyorsun, o kadar.
Hemen yer değiştireyim.
Tamam Özge, devam edebilirsin.
Tamam hocam. Özge Köse, Kırıkkale Üniversitesi'nde savunma teknolojisinde yüksek lisans yapıyorum. Konum ise RDX'in geri kazanımı atıktan yüksek katma değerli ürünlere. Bizim çalışmamızın hedefi üretim tarihinden itibaren uzun yıllar depolamaya maruz kalmış olan mühimmatın çeşitli sebeplerle kullanılmayacak hale gelmesinden dolayı kullanım ömrü tamamlanmış komple mühimmatın içerisinde bulunan RDX'in geri kazanımı araştırılmıştır. Mühimmatları imha etmek yerine geri kazanımın ne gibi avantajları olur diye baktığımız zaman ayırma yöntemlerini kullanarak kullanım dışına çıkmış mühimmatın içerisindeki bulunan patlayıcıyı tekrar ayırıp askeri patlayıcı olarak yeniden kullanımı ve ülke ekonomisine katkı sağlamak, kullanımı uygun olmayan mühimmatın imhası nedeniyle oluşan çevre kirliliğinin önüne geçmek, ülkeler arası çıkar çatışması ve siyasi anlaşmazlıklar durumunda söz konusu malzemelerin ihracatına kısmen ya da tamamen kısıtlamalar getirebilmesi sebebiyle imha etmek yerine geri kazanımın daha avantajlı olduğu değerlendirilmektedir. Komple patlayıcısının içerisinde %60 oranında RDX, %39 oranında TNT, %1 oranında VAX bulunmaktadır. Arkadaki resimde gördüğünüz şey komple mühimmatının içerisindeki patlayıcıdır. Çalıştığımız yöntem ise farklı çözücülerdeki çözünürlük farklarından yararlanarak RDX'in yansıda görülen katı faza, TNT için ise çözücü fazında bırakılmaya çalışmıştır. Biz komplenin içerisine asetonla, belli bir miktar asetonla, toluenle birlikte karıştırarak bir kristalizasyon sonucunda elde ettiğimiz RDX'i sıvı fazla kalan TNT'yi bırakarak çalışmıştık bu çalışmamızda. Ve elde ettiğimiz RDX'in belli saflık derecelerine bakarak HPLC analiziyle belirledik. Sadece HPLC analizi değil, aynı zamanda fıtır, XRD ve SEM analizlerimiz de mevcuttur. Yansıda görülen fıtır ve XRD için bakıldığı zaman elde edilen RDX ve standart olan RDX'in piklerinin fonksiyonel olarak birbirine benzediği herhangi bir yapısal bir değişikliğe sebep olmadığı değerlendirilmektedir. SEM için ise aşağıda gördüğümüz kristalizasyon öncesi elde edilen RDX'in geometrik yapısı elipsoid ve pürüzsüz olduğu görülmektedir. Ve biz geri kazandığımız bu RDX'i hegzan ile yıkama işlemine tabi tutarak tekrar kristallendirdiğimizde morfolojik yapısının silindir, ya da çubuk olarak bir nitelendirebileceğimiz bir geometriye sahip olduğunu gördük. Bu kristalizasyon sonrasında yaptığımız tekrar HPLC analizinde ise verimin %99,5 gibi bir oranda olduğu yüksek saflıkta kazanım sağlanan tespit ettik. Sonuç olarak ise geri dönüşüm prosesinden RDX'in tekrar geri kazanabileceğini değerlendirmiş bulunmaktayız. Sunumum bu şekildeydi. Beni dinlediğiniz için çok teşekkür ederim. Sesim geliyor mu acaba? Sunumum bitti ama.
Çok teşekkür ederiz Özge. Özge'ye sorunuz varsa sorabilirsiniz arkadaşlar.
Hocam ben bir soru sorabilir miyim Özge'ye?
Evet hocam.
Özge, öncelikle tebrik ederim. Güzel bir konu seçmişsiniz. Bunu yaparken deneysel çalışma falan da yapabiliyor musunuz? Deneylerini yapıyor musunuz? Nasıl gidiyor?
Evet hocam, zaten deneysel çalışmalarımı özellikle burada sundum.
Tamam. Yani bunları siz yapıyorsunuz orada.
Evet hocam,
Tamam. Tamam.
yararlanıyorum. Zaten
Proje olarak destekleyen kuruluş var mı?
evet var aslında. Zaten bu projeye çıkmadan önce çalıştığım kurum çok destekçi oldu. Bu şekilde de hocam bir sonuca ulaştık.
Tamam. Tamam. Tebrik ederim. Çok güzel olmuş.
Sağ olun hocam.
Özge, bu
Çok
arada
teşekkür
en sonunda
ediyoruz hocam.
fotoğraf alacağız. Kameranı ayarla. Işık arkandan geliyor. Çok karanlık çıkıyorsun.
Tamam hocam.
Direkt sunumlarda sen ayarlarsın. Sonra fotoğraf çekerken çıkar.
Tamam hocam.
Çok teşekkür ediyoruz hocam. Özge'ye bir daha soru varsa sorabilirsiniz arkadaşlar. Özge, bu sunumunuz çok güzel olduğu için sizi tebrik ediyoruz. Çünkü bu bir güzel tematiktir. Onun için çok çok ne diyelim, başarılar diyoruz ilerle. Başarılar diyoruz. Sonraki sunuma geçiyoruz. The next presenter is Alhado Haruna Bashir with the presentation entitled Box Banking Statistical Modeling and Optimization of the Extraction of Food Polysaccharide in an aqueous medium at alkaline pH and from Sisyphus Jujuba. This presentation has been sent as a recorded video. If it is ready, then we shall start with that. Shall proceed with that. Hocam, beni duyuyor musunuz? Hocam,
Yes, we can hear you. Just a minute, please.
okay.
Hi everyone. Sorry if he's not here, I can pass.
This is a video that has been sent for the presentation. The presenter is here online, but he recorded a video on PowerPoint that he sent. Thank you very much.
All my greetings to you. It is a pleasure for me to be in this Congress. My name is Alhado Harun Bashir. I am a PhD candidate, and my topic is the box banking statistical modeling and optimization of crude polysaccharide extraction in an aqueous medium from Sisyphus Jujuba. So my work is divided in 4 parts. The first is about introduction and the goals or objective of this study. And we will see the methodology that we have applied to extract polysaccharide from these fish jujube fruits. And we will see also results and we will discuss them. Finally, we will conclude with the conclusion. So, the fish jujube is a flowering plant species that belongs to the Rhamnaceaceae family. Its sweet fruits are highly appreciated and consumed fresh or dry. They contain a large quantity of polysaccharides, which, according to scientific literature, have therapeutic properties. So, once these polysaccharides are fermented by gut bacteria, they are metabolized into short-chain fatty acid. They are metabolized into short-chain fatty acid, like here, which modulate our immune system. In particular, they stimulate the production of mucus, and also they protect the organism against pathogenic infections. So, in the consumption of these fruits, which could present health benefits due to the and the fatty acids produced during the fermentation in the colon. So, according to, in the view of all of these properties that they can provide to the organism, the aims of our study is firstly to extract the fish jujube sweet fruits and optimize the process by using box banking design, experimental design. The methodology or the method section is divided in two parts. So before doing any extraction, we have selected 5 factors in 2 levels each one, and these factors are used to generate our experimental design plan. So we use Design Expert version 13 to generate this experimental table, and all the factors are in 2 levels. The factors are the ratio. So the liquid to material ratio. We have also the concentration, the solvent concentration, the shaking speed, because we have to homogenize our mixture with a multi-reacts or a homogenizer. We also use some beads to homogenize our solution, and the time of shaking. The step of methods is the extraction one. The extraction step. Firstly, we weigh 5 grams of dry crushed powder of samples. So we mixed it with a solvent according to liquid to material ratio. Here we have 2 kinds of solvent. We have a neutral one, distilled water, or alkaline one, hydroxy and we homogenize the mixture with a homogenizer, and we filtrate and precipitate it with ethanol, 95 degree of ethanol. After that, we centrifugate it, the mixture, and we centrifugate to remove the supernatant, and precipitate obtained has been dried in an oven. That after drying, we stock it 40 milliliter tubes. So all the masses of dry raw polysaccharides of all runs are reported in our experimental design table. And after the analysis of this response, the suggested model is the quadratic one with a significant p-value less than 0.05. Here, in the ANOVA for reduced quadratic model table, factors with p-values superior to 0.05, that means they have insignificant effect to the yield, have been excluded for the model equation. So the ANOVA for reduced quadratic that is shown here is only for the liquid to material ratio, solvent concentration, and second degree polynomial term B squared. These three terms shown significant effect to the yield with respective p-values of 0.001, 0.0005, and 0.001. The predicted R squared of 0.83 is in reasonable agreement with the adjust one, which is at 0.86. So the difference is less than 0.2. Also, if we analyze the lack of fit here, it is not significant to the relative pure error. There is 64.96% chance that the lack of fit F value this large could occur due to the noise. Non-significant lack of fit is good for our model. So here we have finally the model equation F after we remove all the factors that have not significant effect to the yield of our extraction. So here you have the contour graph and the 3D surface according to our values, our factors that have been used for the model design. So the contour graph and 3D surface show the evolution of yield according liquid to material ratio and the solvent concentration. To more see what we have done here, what this color means. So the red color indicates the high value of yield. The green one is for the intermediate here, and the blue is for the lowest yields values. In the contour graph, we remark that in all liquid to material ratio values, there is a slightly variation in the color spectrum from the right to left, So the liquid to material ratio values are in percentage. So the volume of the solvent increase also from the right to left. That means we have a very slight increase of yield when the volume of rate increase. In the y-axis, the more we increase in the solvent concentration and the best the color change. We also remark that according to the color legend, the yield is more better when the ratio, volume, and the concentration here are higher. In definitive, the yield increasing is function of solvent concentration and volume of solvent. So, in conclusion, we can say the most prominent factors that favorably yield increase were solvent concentration and ratio. Based on the fit model summary, the quadratic model has been rated significant as suggested for the optimal extraction. Thank you.
Thank you, Alhado Harun Bashir, for this nice presentation.
Profesör İbrahim, Doktor İbrahim.
Efendim hocam.
Programda bir değişiklik yapmak zorunda kaldık.
Tamam mı
Katılmayan
hocam?
arkadaşın yerine Maman Çapıyor bir sunum yapacak.
Tamam.
Uygun
Hangisi?
görürseniz onu alalım şimdi.
Tamam hocam. Tamam. Şimdi normalde Abubakar Siddiq yapılacak. Ama yerine diyorsunuz kim yapılacak?
Şimdi Nijer'de Cuma saati gelmiş. Ben katılabilir miyim dedi. Eğer Ebubekir için uygunsa onu alalım.
Tamam hocam. Tamam, sorun yok.
Uygundur.
Ebubekir,
Uygundur hocam.
Sadık uygun mu?
Uygundur hocam.
Tamam. O zaman Muhammed
Tamam hocam.
düştü
Tamam.
mü? Görebiliyor musunuz ya şimdi?
Hocam.
Ama Maman
Yes, sir.
Çapıyor. You may start. Hadi bakalım.
Yes, I'm here.
Evet, başla bakalım.
But you have to. I can't share my screen.
Yes, share your screen.
So,
Tamam, share your screen now.
okay. Okay. Can I start?
Yes, everything is okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Muhammad. I'm from Niger. So my topic is talking about treatment of contaminated waste by phosphate amendment. So the overview of my work, I will start by introduction, problem statement and objectives, experimental procedures, result and discussion, and finally by concluding the result. So, as a mining or mineral processing plants, metallurgical extraction, we are specialized by generating a huge amount of waste. For example, when you take about gold, from 1 ton of gold, you have just 5 grams of gold to recovery. So, and also we say, when you are doing the beneficiation or treatment of the minerals, you can't recover 100%. So those heavy metals is a big challenge for mining engineering, especially mining company, because the waste containing heavy metals. By heavy metals is by definition, they are the metals which has a density greater than 5 grams per centimeter cube. So to prevent this contamination, many methods are using absorption, chemical precipitation, iron, flotation, bombard, photoremediation. Because, you know, as human beings, those heavy metals have many effects on our health. So that's why it's very important to reduce this contamination. But it's very important to use an appropriate methods to stabilize or to remove all these heavy metals. So, you know, the problems as the remediation methods we use like limestone, but limestone, of course, is cheap. But when the pH change, those heavy metals dissolve again. So that's why we, in our studies, we use TSP because is a source of orthophosphate ions, which are an excellent agent for heavy metals elimination. So, and the advantage, it stabilize and give the formation of metal phosphates. So the objective study is the alternative way to stabilize toxic metals to characterize the contaminant waste sample and perform precipitation tests to determine the mineralogical composition of treated waste, and the end is to identify the mechanism of TSP for heavy metals removal. So the materials is monocalcium. Monocalcium is the agent. The precipitated agent is triple superphosphate. You know, is a fertilizer. It's easy to get, and we use the nitric acid to dissolve because we have to know when you collect the samples, the samples are solids. So we use also the samples we collect from Balia is Balikisir. Balia is abandoned mining company in northern Anatolia. So when you see the picture from my right side, you see there is you have to dry it, you have to prepare it. So that's why in mineral processing plant, always we prepare the sample before doing any test or any experimentation. So you see from here, we started by drying, then we grinding to get the size, the appropriate size, because the equipment and the analysis we are going to do need a fine particles. So from here we draw the steps of different analyses we are doing. So the important things in mineral processing is the representative samples. If you don't have a representative sample, so you will get the wrong result. So that's why it's very important, a representative samples. So they coming to results for the test of moisture. Donc we use around 24 hours. We use the method of ISSC and the particle size. So we need to know the size, which size we have the concentration of heavy metals. So that's why we do the particle size distribution. So you this for chemical analysis is microwave is a powerful machine or equipment to dissolve or leach the so, and also for chemical composition, so we boil it and use the reagent at 1100 degree. Then we analyze by XRD the samples, the powder we get from the represent. So for the presenter is who use 500 milliliter. So the samples is around from here. After the solutions, we add our reagent or precipitating agents is TSP or MCPM. From that, after dissolving, because around 30 minutes to dissolve, we started taking samples from 5 to 180 minutes to see the effects of the removal efficiency. So for also after that, the residue, we dried it and we analyze to see if there is a heavy metals concentration in this residue. So you see here we use the diffractometers Expert Pro. You see we use it after drying, we put it in the dissectors. Then we grade it because we need an appropriate particle size. You see, it's around less than 100 micrometer. So here we see from the particle size distribution, you see we have more than 90% is under 100 micrometers. And the moisture content is about 9.9. The pH is around 6.7. We see the chemical analysis for chemical composition and chemical analysis. So our waste is very contain a huge amount, a huge concentration of heavy metals. You see from iron we have 32. Then you have the zinc around 4,360. So you need to stabilize or remove all these heavy metals, because if those concentration go to the rivers or dams, it can contaminate the water. So the water it's used to in agriculture area. So here is our samples, which we got the result of XRD mineralogical analysis. You have parrots. Parrots, you know, is very agent which facilitates the mining drainage. You see here, we have magnetite, we have galena, PBS. So coming to the results, we use different concentration of TSP 0.1, 0.2, and 0.5 to see the effects, because you know the heavy metal, the removal efficiency increase. You see, from the results we have for example for PB, for light, we have more than 99% of removal efficiency at 0.5 molar. This is the result of our residue, the treated waste by TSP. You see, here you have MP. MP is metal phosphate. ZP is ZP is zinc phosphate. You see, at our samples, the XRD mineralogical analysis of our samples contain pyrite, galena, and pyrite. So from here, you see the formation of metal phosphate. So that is the advantage of using TSP. So previous study indicated the metals phosphate can form with unknown or body, making it difficult to identify. For example, for here, it's easy to see from the peak, we have the formation of metal phosphate. So that is the mechanism of TSP. You see here, we have magnesium phosphate. So that's the advantage. When the TSP dissolved in water, it gives calcium and hydro orthophosphate, H2PO4. So coming to the conclusion, the experimental test results indicate that the reaction time and concentration of TSP per meter affect the removal efficiency of metals during the precipitation process, increasing the reaction and concentration. It promotes a high removal efficiency of metal at pH 5, because you know at normal water or distilled water the pH is 5. So the analyzed residue of PV indicate the formation of new compounds such as cadmium phosphate, cobalt phosphate, copper phosphate, lead phosphate. So the result of heavy metals from 0.0 stabilize efficiently heavy metals. So under acid and the same pH, TSP precipitate heavy metals contamination. So and in this results of our work show that TSP is a prominent precipitant for heavy metals in immobilization, and it can be used to solve the problem of continuous monitoring pH. Because you know, when you use the slime, COH always is a basic pH. From when you use TSP, you don't need to monitor the pH. This is our references, and thank you for your listening. If you have any question, I'm glad to hear.
Muhammed, ben bir soru sorabilir miyim?
Yes.
Bu çalışmaları Nijer'de uygulamaya başladınız mı? Ne zaman başlıyorsunuz? Bak, İbrahim hocam başladı çalışmaları, gençleri yetiştiriyor.
Evet hocam, ben bu Nijer Politeknik çalışma başladım. Ama yani okutmanım ben. Başladım hocam. That's very young.
Tamam. Tamam. Başladıysan çok memnun oluruz.
Evet. Bekliyoruz şimdi.
Hocam,
Şimdi okutman.
hocam ben de bir şey sorabilir miyim hocam?
Sor.
Öncelikle Muhammed'e selam söylüyorum. Lütfen Muhammed, şu araştırmalarınız yani ona karşı biyoremediasyon düşündünüz mü? Yani
Seni
fitoremediasyon.
duyamıyorum. Ne dedin?
Beni duyuyor musun? Şimdi beni duyuyor musun?
Evet, şimdi dinliyorum.
Tamam. Yani araştırmalarını
Arabamızın bagajda olur.
biyoremediyasyon ya da fitoremediyasyon karşılak e, hangisi daha
Evet,
uygun?
karşıladık. Yani
Okay.
biliyorsun ha, yani fitör remediation biliyorsun uzun süre. Ama
Tamam.
gübre kullanarak yani hızlı. Ve mesela şimdi
Tamam.
gübre yani kullanıyorlar, yani tarım kullanıyor. Mesela
Tamam.
çok basit. Çok basit. Ama fitör
Ucuz mu?
çok ucuz. Çok ucuz.
Okay. Ah, çok teşekkür ediyorum. Hocam, hocam,
Evet doktor.
bunu bize çok faydalı olacak çünkü bize bu çok büyük bir sorunumuz var. Çünkü bizde büyük uranyum endüstriyelimiz var ve çevrimi ile ilgili bir sorunumuz var ve bunun gibi araştırmalar çok yapılmıyor. O nedenle bizi bu araştırmaları gibi bize çok faydalı olur.
İnşallah.
Teşekkür
İnşallah.
ederim.
Doktor
Hocam,
İbrahim, bir sonraki sunuma geçmeden bir toplu fotoğraf alıp devam edelim, olur mu?
Tamam hocam. Tamam olur. Ee, Alado.
Yes.
uh, can you turn on your camera? We shall take the photo.
Okay.
Muhammed, please stop the shaving.
bekle hocam, ben
Paylaşımı
şunu
durdurabilir misin Muhammed?
kamera açmaya çalışıyorum hocam.
Tamam.
Tamam.
Paylaşımı kapat yalnız.
Tamam abi. Şimdi göt. Tamam mı?
Bir dakika. Sen hala paylaşım yapıyorsun. Dur bakalım.
Tamam, yapıyor.
Tamam. Tamam, çok
Evet.
güzel. Evet arkadaşlar, fotoğrafı çekiyorum. Evet, teşekkür ederim. Devam edebiliriz.
Teşekkür ederim hocam. Sonraki sunumu Abubakar Sadik yapılacak. Başlığı What citizens urgently want from city authorities. Insight from Turkey. Abubakar Sadik, are you available?
Yes,
Are
I'm
you ready
available.
for it?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So you can start.
Okay, let me start sharing my screen. I hope yeah, you can all see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Do you see my
Yes, we
presenter
can see
view?
it.
Do you see my presenter view?
Yes, we can see it. You can start.
No, I mean, do you see my presenter view, or you don't see my presenter? You see only the screen, the full screen.
We are seeing both.
But you don't have to see both.
Okay.
How do you do that? How is it possible? Sorry?
Share your screen, then we can see whatever you are presenting.
Yeah, the thing is like you don't have to see my presenter view, but you have to see only that side. Is there a certain that you can use for that, or there's no certain?
No, we just see your screen and your camera.
And do you see my notes?
No, we don't see it.
Okay, that's what I meant. I mean, so you don't see my notes now?
No, we don't see it.
Okay, yeah, that's just how it's supposed to be. Anyway, good afternoon to all of you. Let me introduce ourselves. Okay, my name is Abubakar Sadiq Abbas. And with me on this project, or this research is Zainab Zuhal Narchakar and then Fatima Karasumen Achigos. We are all PhD candidates from the Department of Urban Planning from two different schools. Myself and Zainab are from METU, Middle East Technical University, and then Fatima is from Dokuzelu University. So basically, in this study, what we try to do, we try to present to you what the actual preferences of urban residents are in terms of their most preferred urban services. And we all appreciate that urban areas are inundated by a number of needs in order to be run in an efficient and sustainable manner that leads to improved welfare of the inhabitants. But we noted a sort of disconnect between what residents expect from the authorities and what is actually being carried out. So quickly, I will just go straight to how this work is structured. So this presentation, I start off by an introduction as it is the norm, and then followed by methods that we adopted in the data collection and analysis, then presentation of the results, and then its conclusion. So without much ado, I want to proceed to the introduction. Rapid urbanization or the influx of migrants, whether local or foreign migrants into urban areas has widely been held liable for the unrelenting urban problems bedeviling towns and cities around the world. The mounting pressures on the available urban infrastructure tends to give credence to this view, even though beyond this, there's a counter argument that suggests that a lack of adequate investment in urban areas is at the core of the problems witnessed in our towns and cities, especially in an era where urbanization can hardly be avoided. So if rising populations in urban areas cannot be avoided and resources available are limited, now the pressing question for city managers is to answer how best to employ these limited resources to achieve maximum benefits for the residing populations. Right. So the benefits in this sense refer to a number of both local and global goals. So they range from sustainability goals to improvement in quality of life of the people. And then in addition to that, they also include livability and resilience of cities that have emerged, lately to become important considerations for urban managers in building livable and resilient cities that are capable of withstanding adverse environmental or economic conditions. Natural disasters such as flooding, earthquake, landslides, and wildfires can also be considered under this. So when we talk of resilience, we mean now resilience of cities is defined to be, or is said to be, the ability of cities to respond to or to recover from crisis in a timely manner, such that residents do not feel the full extent of these crises. Now, for improved city management, several studies have been conducted in this regard. For instance, there's a study that used selected neighborhoods in the Dhaka North City Corporation area in Bangladesh, for example, where they evaluated the quality of services rendered to residents of the study area. And another one in Sri Lanka, also did a perception survey, that determined a short list of urban management criteria and indicators, which were then evaluated using full permutation polygon synthetic indicator. Now, other works also concentrated on how best municipalities could utilize their resources to enhance the welfare of citizens. Some works also focused on the smartness of cities and how that contributes to the effective management of those cities. Now, it can be observed that the literature is mainly engaged in determining satisfaction levels of citizens and the measurement of or a proposition of a measuring tool for measuring management performance based on the different indicators mentioned above. Quite different from existing works, owing to observed disconnect between the government, investment, and citizens' expectations. Now, by government, it can be both central or local government. So the work seeks to investigate actual priorities of citizens within the context of urban services and how these needs affect the perception of people on what can be said to be satisfactory urban management performance. Okay. So urban management is concerned with a set of functions that interact to ensure that the present and future needs of residents are met. These needs can be simplified as residents' well-being, which are met when these functions lead to the physical, social, and economic development of the urban area. Now, these functions are often carried out at different levels of government, such as local and central government. Depending on the country, some functions are done by the local governments and some are done by the central government or a combination of both. So in reaching the main objective of this work, the following method was adopted. So I go straight to the methods we use. Now, for this work, we used an online survey. So an online survey was conducted to assess the urban needs most anticipated by residents across various cities in Turkey, including Istanbul, Ankara, Izmir, and other medium and small-sized cities across Turkey, across the country. Now, the survey was designed to gather insights into the preferences and expectations of residents regarding urban services provided by local authorities or central governments. Participants were recruited through online survey form powered by Google Forms. Now, the online questionnaire was left open between 24th December 2023 and 5th February 2024, with the last response date recorded on 2nd February 2024. The online questionnaire consisted of 3 sections. Okay, I'm not going to go into so much details here because of lack of time, so I will quickly go to the next, the next slide. So the responses obtained portray. So this map, let me use this laser pointer. Okay, so this is a map of Turkey showing where the responses came from across these cities. The colors in the ones in deep color are the places with the most responses. So Istanbul, as usual, it has the most population in Turkey. So many people, majority of the respondents came from there. So the responses obtained, so they portray a fair representation of major cities in Turkey, particularly in Istanbul and Ankara, as you can see from the map, and Izmir. And then, so in total, 26, participants answered the questionnaire from 26 cities across Turkey, as you can find there. So the next slide will present the results, what we got from this survey. Okay. To start with, I present to you the demographic composition of our respondents. So it's comprised of persons from wide spectrum of professionals. So from the figure, the pie chart there shows the the professions of people that took part in the survey. So we are such as people working in education sector. So whether it is basic, secondary, or higher education. So we have professors taking part, we have teachers, high school teachers and all of that taking part, all grouped under education, engineering, planning, comprising engineers, architects, surveyors, urban planners, and airplane pilots. These are just, and then, so the rest of the demographic composition can be seen on the screen as well. Now, I want to proceed to the next slide where the most preferred urban services are presented. Okay. So, as can be seen from this table, now, the various urban services considered in this study occupy the rows, whereas the different ranks occupy the columns. The figures for each rank was obtained by multiplying their respective frequencies by an applied weight. So we applied a weight to each of the ranks. So each rank was given a weight between 10 to 4, between 10 and 4. So rank 1 was given a weight of 10. Rank 2 was given a weight of 9. Rank 3 was given a weight of 8, in that order. So the sum of these weights resulted in the composite points you find there. So the composite points here. So that's the sum of the entire weight, as you can see. So so from this ranking, now we had from these weights, now we rank them from first to the 13th urban function, As to how we determine these urban functions, from the literature, we determine these urban functions, and then from the available, the available literature. So we use the top 5 for our main analysis for our regression models. So I mean, not all the 5, but urban functions that fell within the top 5. So 4 of them were used, 3 and 4 of them were used. Okay, so now this is just the graphical representation of what you saw before, so this is only a graphical representation. Now the slides, the next slide will present the regression models that we used to determine the impact of each of these services on the overall satisfaction level of urban services by residents. So we use the results obtained for the top 5, like I mentioned, determine the relevant variables for the regression models. Both models have the overall satisfaction with urban services as the dependent variable. So in effect, a null hypothesis or the null hypothesis can be determined to be that there is no significant impact of the dependent variables on the dependent variable. So to reject this null hypothesis, we need to have a p-value that is less than 0.05. That is the standard used in most scientific research. So in model 1, the independent variables, safety and security, urban transport, and health services significantly predict a person's overall satisfaction with urban services in Turkish cities. So with degrees of freedom of 3 for the regression, and then a degrees of freedom of 167 for the residual, giving an F value of 58.355 with p-value of 0.001. Now, so this is significant. This is for the entire model. So these 3 have determined they are very significant in determining how a person feels about, or whether the person is satisfied or not about the entire urban services in their cities. So this means that these 3 factors together demonstrate significant impact on people's overall satisfaction with urban services of their cities. So moreover, you find the R-squared value to be 0.512. It indicates that these 3 variables alone, you saw 13 of them out there from the previous slide. So only these 3 of them were responsible for 51% of the total variations in the model. Of course, in other words, 51% of the person's overall satisfaction with urban services can be attributable to these 3 services. That is health, sanitation, public transport, and then sanitation, safety and security rather. Sanitation was introduced in the 4th model, in the 2nd model, that as you can see on your screen as well. Now, so the same interpretation can be given to the 2nd model. So let me quickly move on to the. So now, in order to understand the individual impacts of these, in order to understand whether or not each of these variables was significant, and whether it's positive, it has a positive impact or not, what their impacts on the dependent variables, we report their coefficients and then the p-values. So we only present those from model 1 for lack of time. So in model 1, we realized that all 3 variables had significant positive impact on the overall satisfaction with urban services, for instance. So the independent variable, satisfaction with health services, has significant positive impact on a person's overall satisfaction with urban services, with its coefficient of 0.192 and t-value 3.162, and then the its p-value of 0.02, which is very significant, significant relationship with that. So the same can be said for the rest of them. Let me quickly move to, actually, so this is just the regression equation, from the data we gathered, and then for this particular model. It is therefore clear that the 3 alternative hypotheses are supported. So as you can see, so these are the alternative hypotheses, meaning, so this has the satisfaction with health services, for example, it has a positive impact on overall satisfaction with urban services. So it's a supported hypothesis. 2 is also supported. The alternative hypothesis 3 is also supported. Okay. Now, this is also the 2nd model. I will just move on to the conclusion. Okay. So in conclusion, this study provides valuable insight into the priorities and expectations of urban residents regarding various urban services in Turkey. Through a comprehensive analysis of the survey data, we identify what residents consider to be the most important services and for which resources need to be channeled into. Urban services such as health services, urban transportation, safety and security, and sanitation and waste management, respectively, were the most highly ranked services, of course, including housing as you saw in the list in the previous slides. So these services we also found to positively impact on people's overall level of satisfaction with urban services. These services together were found to contribute to over 55, almost 5% of people's overall level of satisfaction with urban services in their cities. All right. So it means that for urban managers, I mean, it may be almost enough to focus more on, I mean, these four areas that we looked at because they are responsible for over 50% of how people feel. And then there are other factors, of course, that influence. But if urban managers want to, utilize their resources properly, they may want to consider these four areas to strengthen and to make them very well, I mean, better than they are. So some of the limitations that we found, while online service, offer accessibility and cost effectiveness, they're able to allow us to reach places that we would not have been able to reach if we had not used online service. But at the same time, they may introduce biases due to self-selection and limited representation of certain demographic groups, potentially impacting the generalizability of the findings. Nevertheless, the results of this study remain valid and significant for both policy and urban studies scholarship. Despite the inherent limitations of the survey method, the large sample size and diverse representation across different cities in Turkey enhance the robustness of the findings. So by capturing the perspective of a wide range of residents, the study provides valuable insight that can inform urban planning decisions, policy formulation, and resource allocation strategies aimed at addressing the needs and priorities of urban communities. So these are the recommended future studies. My time is past, I guess. I will not present this, as you can just read from the screen yourselves for future studies and then our references. Okay, thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you to you too, Abubakar Sadiq. Thank you and congratulations for this nice presentation and nice work. And we are asking if anybody has a question to address to Abubakar Sadiq related to his presentation.
May I ask something to Sadık?
Okay.
Yes, of course.
Hocam.
Sadık, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, hocam. Long time.
Teşekkür ederiz. Güzel bir çalışma.
Teşekkür ederiz.
Are you still in İTE?
No, İTE. ODTÜ.
ODTÜ.
Neyse.
Tamam. Nasıl gidiyor Ankara?
İyi, çok şükür. Şikayetimiz yok.
Tamam. Tamam. Güzel iki çalışmanız var, değil mi? Bir tane daha
Evet.
sunacaksın.
Evet, bir tane daha sunacağım.
Evet. Teşekkür ederim. Bu sunumla ilgili bir şey sorayım sadece.
Tamam hocam.
Yaklaşık 5 tane şey söyledin. Sağlık, güvenlik, ulaşım.
Evet. Bir de konut.
Bunlar
Ama
önemli.
konut çok fazla. Evet, onlar önemli, evet.
Bunlar çok önemli dedin. Bunlardan özellikle en önemli birincisi var mı?
Evet, sağlık.
Sağlık.
Evet, bu yönteme göre bizim kullandığımız
Tamam.
yöntem.
Önce sağlık geliyor yani.
Sonra ulaşım, evet. İkinci
Ulaşım
sırada
geliyor.
ulaşım.
Evet.
Evet.
Tamam. Teşekkür ederim.
Rica
Sadık.
ederim hocam. O zaman I'm stopping this and I'm
Yes.
diğeri başlayacağım.
Okay, thank you.
Tamam, you can proceed with the next one. If there are still questions related to the first one, we shall combine them with the second one after you finish.
Okay.
You can still proceed with the second one. Thank you.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Okay, that's fine. I'm starting. Just a second. Is it sharing? Can you see my screen? Hello. Hello, can you see my
It's
screen?
okay now. It's okay now. You can start. It's okay.
Okay, so this work was also I collaborated to do this work with another brother, Yahya Halidu. He's also from Beyazet University. He's not been able to join us now. Okay, and the topic, as you can see, is identifying the impact of stringent immigration laws on international students, the case of Turkey. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for the opportunity to make our presentation on the topic above. Now, in this study again, as its title suggests, we try to unravel the impacts that the recent stringent immigration rules are having on international students. We also demonstrate how counterproductive effects these rules are having on the national policy of internationalizing higher education in Turkey. Without further ado, I want to start off by outlining the structure this presentation shall take in the next slide. Okay, so again, we have an introduction and the methods, results, and conclusion. I'm starting. One of the main evidences of globalization is the proliferation of, and then, of course, not just proliferation, but the rising numbers of international scholarship, where both international students and scholars are engaged in academic works in countries other than their own countries. Out of the reported 250 million students worldwide, that is higher education students worldwide, 6.4 of them are studying outside their own countries, as at 2023. 3 million of them are studying outside their regions entirely. Despite the rise in the number of international students globally, other researchers have maintained that it is expected to stabilize due to reasons such as improved local education and unfriendly atmospheres in host countries. Other reports, again, have also contended that the global number of international students is still expected to reach 20 million by 2030. Now, the reasons for international higher education are varied. On the part of the host countries, for instance, international education serves as a national strategy for countries to develop foreign trade, address human resource shortages, demonstrate soft power, enhance national security, and maintain influence on the global stage. It also serves to promote global citizenship, tolerance, and understanding. It thus contributes to world peace and cultural recognition. On the part of the student, it influences diverse perspectives, experiences from other nations' cultures, enabling the student to become more internationally minded. So now we are going to move quickly to see international higher education in Turkey. There's always been international students' presence in Turkey since the turn of the 20th century. During this time, talented students were reported to have been sent from Turkestan to study abroad in cities such as Istanbul. A different level of importance was, however, given to international students' presence in Turkey at the turn of the 2010s, when YTB was formally established in 2012 in addition to providing equal access to higher education to successful students from around the world, that is by offering them scholarships to study in top Turkish universities. The aim was also to develop mutual cooperation between Turkey and the countries of the world, okay, and to contribute to regional and global development in many fields, from academia to arts, from economy to literature, from technology to architecture. Now, what you see now on your screen is a figure that is showing the top 10 host nations of international students globally. Now, by the way, as I mentioned, we're talking about it later. Now, YOK, that is the Council of Higher Education, has actively been involved in this whole agenda to internationalize higher education in Turkey. The next slide will present some of the statements in this regard. So over here, quickly, I don't have to comment much on this graph, this table. So for the first time, Turkey got into the top 10 countries in the world that is hosting international students. The previously mentioned, okay, I'm good. Now, you saw, for instance, here, okay, you saw these objectives here. I'm referring to them. So the previously mentioned set objectives of YTB in the last two slides sort of form the main aim of Turkey's national policy on International Higher Education, which culminated in the involvement of the Council of Higher Education, that is YOC, who went further to make internationalization of higher education its most important mission. Its most important mission. You can read, these are statements from the YOC chairman. Recent statement from the chairman of YOC, also it gives credence to all these statements, meaning to the targets that it emphasizes that the target remains unchanged, meaning internationalization of higher education in Turkey is still on course. Okay. Now, the reason for the reported stabilization, I'm referring again in the literature part, that some research claim there's going to be stabilization. Okay, now the reason has already been reported that in terms of stabilization of international enrollment globally, it has been reported before in this presentation. Now, some of these reasons, such as unfriendly public outlook of international students in host countries, were noticed in other countries years ago. However, these behaviors have also started to rear their ugly hairs in Turkey in the last couple of years, and which continues to persist till today. It is acknowledged that public behaviors towards international students cannot be controlled. Okay. However, state policies in this regard can be streamlined to encourage and facilitate the lives of international students. So the aim is to make the lives of international students as less stressful as possible. That is the normal thing to do. The person has left the country to come all the way. So the least we can do is to make life difficult for these people. And indeed, for a country that has made internationalization of higher education an important target, it is expected that the Department for Immigration Management, Göç İdaresi, would set rules that ensure a seamless stay of international students in the country rather than make things more complicated. The difficulties associated with the new measures are numerous and well known. A few of them have been outlined on your screens. The main objective of this work is to determine how these rules impact on international students and by extension, the country. These are just some of the few rules. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, some of the things that difficulties that students have faced. They are well known, we know them. But the aim of this work is not to extract these difficulties. They're already known. So we want to know how they impact on international students. Now, I will simply proceed to the next slide, which describes the methods adopted for data collection and analysis due to lack of time at this stage. You can find the research gap and all of that. All right. So, of course, several works on international students is said to be seen. These are just the research gaps that you can read for yourself. So quickly. Now, in order to reach people from far and wide, we again used an online approach. And then for data collection, it was distributed over WhatsApp groups and directly to individuals. In total, 126 responses were obtained and were used for the analysis. So, so the next slide will tell us where these people are coming from. Okay, because of the picture is slow to load. Okay, so our respondents host countries are from 46 different countries. Okay, these 126 persons who took part in the survey were from 46 different countries as their countries of nationality. Their schools are spread across 14 Turkish cities, as you can find on the screen. Now, okay, so it's freezing. Now, the whites are the countries that the students are coming from. So there's some from the US, from Brazil, that's in the Americas. Of course, there are some from Russia, from Africa, a lot from Africa, of course, and then a lot too from the Asian countries. I don't want to. Okay, so in Turkey, the schools that these people attend are spread across these cities, with Ankara the most, having the majority of respondents, even though we try to reach as many as possible. So in order to test for internal consistency of the questions that we asked, a reliability test was performed, which returned a Frombert alpha of 0.90, which demonstrates 5 excellent reliability, because values closer to 1 indicate higher consistency, and those closer to 0 have lower consistency. So at this point, we can now check out the results from this survey in the next slide. Okay, so these are factual data indicating the demographic composition of our respondents. This figure is only to indicate to you the composition of those who took part in the survey. Of interest here will be the responses to the questions: have you had any issues with Göç before or Göç İdaresi before? And the other question is, has your experience or that of others had any negative impact on your views about Turkey. So I'm talking about these variables, the one in cyan and then the yellow color, these variables. We'll use them for the main analysis for this presentation. So using this tool, we conducted a number of differential statistical analysis using later. Quickly. Okay, this is just this table is showing us the length of time that people on the average stayed in Turkey. For those who are still in Turkey, those who have studied and left and are still those people like 190, you can see the N 100 like on the mean number of years stayed is almost 5 years. And those who have stayed and have left and are no longer in Turkey have also spent a little over 5 years. So this graph shows how they responded to those statements, the statements on the 5 liquid state statements. So where 1 represents strongly disagree, 2 means disagree, 3 means indifferent, 4 means agree, and then 5 means strongly agree. Really quickly, let's look at this much in much detail. So what you are seeing now, these values in the table, they were the ones in the graph. This table portrays the percentage of respondents who either disagreed or agreed, and to what extent they disagreed or agreed, or they were indifferent regarding their relations with God and their education lives in Turkey generally. It also provides the mean values for each statement. So these are the mean values here. Now, since this is an ordinal measure, it is understood that mean values less than 3 indicate disagreement with a statement. So with each of these statements, and in general, there wasn't a single statement whose mean value indicated an agreement by the respondent, as you can see. Now, even though we know through descriptive analysis above that the percentage of respondents who agreed or disagreed with the above statements. Now, we don't know, but we do not know which categories of international students are likely to agree or disagree with the above statement. So to draw this insight, we had to conduct a chi-squared analysis, which provides insight about relations or otherwise, about categorical or ordinal values like this one. So we wanted to know whether or not any significant relationship existed between persons having issues with Gochi Darese as one variable and the level of disagreement or agreement with the above statement. Now, the same chi-square test was also done on the variable that measured people's negative change in perception about the country and their levels of agreement with these statements. Oh, time is up. Okay, now the null hypothesis for each of the pair of variables is that no significant relationship exists between the variables on the column and those in the rows, as you can see. So these variables were cross-tabulated with these variables. See the emphasis for the ones in bold. You can read them on your own. I'll just highlight what is more important. So the results indicate that most of the null hypotheses, most of them, you can see only the 2 ones that are not significant here. The null hypothesis need to be rejected, meaning there's a significant relationship with this one. A person's attitude, a person's having negative perception about the country, and the level to which they agree to this statement. This is very important. So these findings clearly indicate that having issues with Gochi Darese can potentially lead to negative impacts on international students in their student lives in terms of living in stress or fear of losing their legal residential status. For example, for instance, we can see the strong relationship between having issues with Gochi and variables such as views about having peace of mind regarding legal residence status and confidence in maintaining such status throughout their academic lives. Even though no relationship was established between having issues with God and the tendency to continue to stay or to choose Turkey again for future studies, even in the face of other options abroad, it must be noted that significant relationship was found to emerge between those whose views about the country has been impacted negatively due to their experiences with God and their tendency to stay or choose Turkey again for further studies. Now, what is of major concern is that a significant relationship was also established between those who had issues with Gochi Darese and their likelihood of recommending Turkey to others. Now, with those who have had issues, more likely not to recommend Turkey to others. That's what we found. Now, the implications of this are detrimental to the efforts made by YOK in internationalizing higher education in Turkey. In the next slide, we will present some of the challenges or issues our respondents raised. Now, then it's just a sneak peek of the respondent general outlook of the immigration department. So people have narrated, there's no time to go into what people have narrated to us, but just to give you a sneak peek of that. So These are the most frequently used terms. For example, issues with permits, the university is not helpful. Some of the universities are not helpful. The application process is tedious, you know, so many, I mean, documentations are being requested and all of that and all of that and all of that. So I will not go much, so I'll just continue with. It is acknowledged that countries need, so in conclusion, it is acknowledged that countries need to secure their borders from illegal migrants to ensure peace and tranquility of their citizens. This cannot be denied anywhere. But in doing so, it is essential to proceed on the understanding that international students are not migrants, let alone be illegal. Turkey has made great strides in its aim to attract international students from around the world, which has culminated in making it among the top 10 most preferred destinations for students. The existing population of Turkish students cannot fill up all the universities around the country. There's often a reported huge vacancy rate in some programs in some of the universities, with some reaching close to 50%. So there have been this report, some have been 40% vacancy throughout the year. So now, international students therefore present an opportunity to fill up these vacancies. There are always been, I've heard complaints about having universities in the East when nobody is going there. Fine, you can bring international students can be attracted to those places to fill up these gaps. Apart from increasing Turkey's soft power, this also has the potential to contribute significantly to the economy. Of course, there are so many works on that. So many work in the literature about the economic advantage of having international students. Private and many other universities in the country spend lots of money traveling around the world to education fairs to market their universities to international students. Now, the overarching question then is, this is the overarching question. Okay, would it be worthwhile to make all efforts to bring in international students if they end up leaving due to immigration rules that could have been more accommodating? So I will leave this question to the authorities. Now, these are some of the policy recommendations. I'm not going to go into that. There's no time. And scholarly recommendations for future studies on this topic that I will also read on that. And then thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sadiq, for this interesting and very informative presentation.
Thank you.
So,
you're welcome.
Due to time, we don't have floor for many questions. I don't know if we can take just one question before closing the session.
That's fine.
Is there somebody that has a question to the presenter? He has presented two topics. So if you have any questions for the two of them, we have floor just for one question before closing. Any question?
If there is no other questions, may I ask?
Yes,
Not a
of course.
question, but
Okay.
Sadık, çok güzel bir çalışma yapmışsın. Tebrik ederim.
Teşekkür ederim hocam.
Çünkü bu konu gerçekten önemli. Bununla ilgili Türklerin yaptığı çalışmalar oluyor ama burada okuyan uluslararası öğrencinin yapmış olduğu çalışma daha da değerli. Bunu okuldaki danışmanlarınla birlikte tezin kapsamında mı yoksa
Yok bu ayrı bir çalışma.
Arkadaşım var galiba Yahya.
Evet Yahya ile yaptım.
Onunla birlikte kendiniz mi tasarladınız?
Evet. İkisi de diğer arkadaşlarla da yaptık.
Evet yani tamamen bağımsız bir çalışma. Tezle okulla ilgili değil.
İlgili değil. Onayı da aldık zaten. ODTÜ'nün insan kaynaklı insan araştırmaları, etik vesaire.
Tamam. Tebrik ederim.
Teşekkür ederim hocam.
Yalnız bu sonuçları Türkçe'de yayınlamak lazım. Çünkü bunu Türkiye'deki kamu görevlileri falan da görmesi lazım. İsterseniz Türkçe biraz daha belki geliştirip Türkçe bir tebliğ olarak tekrar bir daha sunabilirsiniz.
Tamam hocam.
Bunun kayda geçmesi lazım yani.
Tamam hocam.
Teşekkür ederim, tebrik ederim.
Biz teşekkür ederiz.
Hocam şimdi size I will turn over the floor to you for closing the session and
You are the session chair. İbrahim, doktor.
okay, thank you, thank you very much, Hocam. Thank you to each of you for your interest to our Congress and for your nice presentation of your work. We expect you for the next session, for the next Congress to come next year. With that being said, I will thank you all for your participation, and I think from this we can close the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody. It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure for us.
Thank you. Görüşürüz. Görüşürüz.
Görüşürüz. Kapatayım mı oturup?
Benim kartım geliyor.
20. Ne zaman gelecek hocam?